Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, I'm Edith with Notable Moments. I have a notary business in New Jersey. I service Hudson County and Essex County, and I'm here to drop a few gems for your newer notaries to help you run a smoother business. So let's talk about something that's not too flashy but is also essential. If you watch my notary video that's about communication, this is also a part of that experience that I had. That was also kind of a rant. But yeah, basically systems are very important to your business. It's not like, hey, I got my stamp and now what, which a lot of y'all just kind of run out there without having any systems. Think about this in this whole totality. If you got your stamp and you're still kind of sitting here on the sidelines, now what do you need to think about? You also need systems, right? I said, it isn't just getting your stamp and now I'm just gonna run out here and go stamping things. It's a business, and every business needs systems in place. So we're gonna talk about what systems are, some systems that I think that you should have in notary, some tools that I recommend, and why investing in systems is really investing in yourself. So let's get into it. When I say systems, I don't mean like fancy software. Some of them may be, right? Or hiring an entire team. They can be just as simple of having a checklist, right? Templates that you have to use every time. And it's a repeatable process to help you stay organized, save time, and avoid making mistakes. And it can help you provide consistent and professional experience for everyone, right? If you're doing things differently every time, you're basically starting from scratch each day. I had this conversation with another notary friend of mine. She's newer, I guess. You can say a mentee. I don't really like to call myself a mentor, but yeah, we had a similar conversation about what do you say when people call you, things like that. You need to make sure that you have those things in place so you know what you're saying to people. Yeah, so if you have system, you don't always have to think so hard. It's already there, it's already done for you, and you're not starting from scratch every single time, right? All right, so let's break down some essential things for your business. Your client intake system. You should never be walking in blind to your intake. So when someone calls you and they ask you, which most of the time I don't know, my calls always go hey, do you do notary? I think that's such a weird thing to ask a business that says mobile notary services, and I think that's weird, but whatever. I do have I do have a video with 11 questions that you should ask intake, so I have more questions for you there. If you want to check that video out, I'll likely link it below. But here are some questions that you definitely should ask. What's being signed? How many signers? Do you have a valid ID? Do you need a witness? And are there any language barriers or special needs? Those things always need to be asked. I do also have an intake form, a digital one. I made it through Google. I'll also link that for you, and that you can text them, hey, thank you for inquiring, fill this out, and I can give you a better quote. Or if you're at the computer, you can fill it out for them, ask them all the questions that are on the form, and it sends them a confirmation. You have all the information that you need to give them a quote, right? Or what I used to do before I created the form, and also before I memorized it, I would have it in my notes. So I would get a call, and I would always start with, okay, what needs to be signed, while I'm opening my notes. And I would open my notes and to make sure to ask them the question. So I would have it in my notes, and then I also made it into a form, especially because if I'm driving, I'll let them know, hey, I'm driving, I'm gonna text you or email you this form, fill it out for me, and then I'll give you a call, so that we can book, or I'll confirm our appointment XYZ, right? So you can have 2 ways of doing it. have clear payment terms. I think that it's good to say, like, you know, ask for payment terms before you do the job. If someone is hiring you, like when people hire me, and let's say like I've never worked with them before, hey, what are your payment terms? 30 days, 45 days, check. Are you Zelling? Do you do e-checks? I always ask those questions when I'm working with someone that I've never worked before. Ask them again what their payment schedule is. Are you 30, 45 days, 60 days? Ask them so you also know what to expect. You don't want to be like, damn, I've been waiting 60 days and you didn't know that they had like a 90-day payment schedule, which is out of control, by the way. But if you want to accept that work, which I've accepted some, but I always asked from the beginning, what are your payment terms, so I knew when to expect my check. Right? Again, ask the different platforms that they're used and when you can expect payment. Right? If you have direct clients, make sure that you also know their expectations. Most of them will pay either 2 weeks to 30 days to pay out, and they generally send the check. Yeah, so then you know. And then if you are having like clients find you online, you know, from your Google My Business, or you have your website up, which I do. At first I started with just a Google My Business and a Square page. I've always been able to accept cards. My fees also include paying those fees, so the signer doesn't have to pay the additional fees. It's built into my cost anyway. That's just me. That's how I prefer to do it. I just want to do a flat fee. I don't take cash. I don't want cash. Cash is dirty. Cash can be fake. And I'm not running to like deposit cash into an ATM. So will I accept cash? Yes. I just prefer digital payments and to do it that way. But that is me, my decision, how I want to run my business. Right? So make sure that you know, and you know, make sure that you have several options for how you can accept payment. Right? Like, I think not having digital options is absurd, especially if you're going to be contracted by someone who might not be in the same state as you. How are you supposed to, you know, offer, you know, you can't just, because no one's sending cash in the mail. So make sure you are also flexible with, you know, how you are accepting payments. But yeah, make sure you're crystal clear on all of those things so that you're not out here chasing your money. Calendar systems. This one, again, this is based off my experience in that rant that I did, right? You need to use a calendar, right? Whether that's your Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, paper calendar, or you're using a booking system. I have a booking system online. I also use Notary Gadget, which links to my calendar, and I put all the information in there. I have the signer's address, I have the contracting company's information, and I have the signer's information. It's also color coded. You get a reminder 30 minutes beforehand on when the appointment, so you don't get double booked and you don't miss an appointment, or you don't, like in my instance, when I contracted a notary, they said that they didn't have the seller's number, and I had to highlight it was right here because I sent it to you the other day. It was there. It was there because you contacted the signer the day prior. But okay, but if that was set into the notary's calendar, the system, it would have been there. You wouldn't have forgot it or had to like scroll through the messages to see that you had the number. Because if you set it up in a system, your calendar system, with the information, you would have just opened that information and knew it right there. So that's also very important. Your invoicing and your booking, you have to track your money, point blank period. Point blank period. You got to track your money, like I said, and know the payment terms. You don't want to be out here every day like, are you gonna pay me yet? Are you gonna pay me yet? Are you gonna pay me yet? I think that that's absurd. Like, if someone agreed to pay you within like 2 weeks, you shouldn't be asking every day. Track what you owe, track your mileage, and track your expenses, things like that. I use Notary Assist. To do that. You also have QuickBooks, and I heard that Wave is free. I'm not sure. I don't use Wave. I use Notary. I tried Notary Assist, but I like Notary Gadget better. Some people like Notary Assist, but Notary Gadget, Notary Assist, QuickBooks, they all can like track your mileage. It all has invoicing things there. I know some of you guys don't want to spend money when you're starting your business, but you have to spend money. Like, you have to spend money, which is, again, like when you think about your pricing, your pricing should reflect the what you have to pay. So stop being cheap and wanting to be the cheapest notary out here, and you don't have any systems, or you're trying to use all these free things and like it's not working for you, and it got you looking crazy like you're not a professional, right? So make sure like you sit down for like 10 to 20 minutes every month, go over like your invoices, see what is paid, what needs to be paid, and who you need to run down if you need to run down anybody. I said this earlier, everyone doesn't carry cash, and not everyone wants to use something like Zelle, or if you only take Cash App, make sure that you offer a plethora of options. When I became a notary, anything that I can sign up for to take payment, I did that. I take PayPal. Have I had to take PayPal often? No, but it's an option. I had someone who preferred to use PayPal, and I already had it set up. So I have PayPal, Venmo. Do I take Venmo too often? No. Every now and again, I have someone who preferred payment is Venmo. Cash App if you trust it. I do not have a business version of Cash App, so I do not have it, or the way that it's linked to like a personal. I just think that it's weird, so that is generally like not an option for me. But I have so many others, right? Like I have Square. Although like I can just use my website, GoDaddy, like they have invoices and payments, so I just use that. And then there's also Stripe. I have Stripe as an option. I never had to use it, but it's there if for whatever reason that's how somebody wants to pay me, like a company. I have that option available. So anything like under the sun, especially if I don't have to pay for it, I'm going to sign up, and so that it's convenient for everyone, and I have ways to be paid. Yes, there are going to be fees, but build that into your price. I have a video about pricing. Put it into your price. Think about everything that you have to do, your driving, your mileage, and then any fees that you have to pay for processing cards and such. Clients prefer to have flexibility, and it's just faster for you to get paid that way. So make sure that you have different options. And then making sure that you have follow-ups. Follow-ups with people, check with people, like make sure they're still coming. Systems, right? Like before, when I didn't have like some of these paid systems, I would have to manually, I have an appointment today, are we still good for this time, XYZ. Now, because I have automated systems, and it's not that expensive, guys. Like take a look and see what works for your pockets. I promise you it's not that much, right? And it will send them reminders that they have an appointment today. But again, if that's not, my camera overheated and my mics are dying, so hopefully like we can just get through this. Where I left off at was essentially making sure you have systems to help you confirm appointments. I have an automated system. I've upgraded to having my own website. Before that, I was using Square. Square is free, so definitely use Square if you're interested. I'll link that bit below, but I started with that, and now it's integrated into my website. That just ended up working better for me. But it does all that for me, right? Like I say this all the time, I'm a realtor, and so keeping up with all of those appointments can be difficult, and I have to make sure that I have automated systems. When I first started, I was doing those reminders myself, and then as you get busier, like you can lose track, and you don't want to be that person where you're like, I'm sorry, you know, like I didn't know, I forgot, overbooked, and you're not able to communicate. You're like running around like a chicken without its head. Like you don't want to be like that guy or that girly, because it makes you look unprofessional. So yeah, you don't want to be that person. And I know that costs money. I'm just starting out. Too bad you decided to be a business owner, and being a business owner isn't free, right? Like I know some of these tools cost money because I started with them too, right? But the things that I needed, like I need automation, honey. Like I'm sorry, that's just who I am, right? So it's gonna be 25 here. Like pick and choose like what works for you in the beginning, what you can use. I definitely think invoicing, having like invoicing is useful. Like Notary Gadget, that's gonna give you invoicing, mileage tracking, and it also puts your appointments there. That's $10 a month. It gives you all of that. right? Like, it's not gonna have the automations of, you know, being able to message them. But if you're at a point, or if you're slow enough, like business wise, you can still like send the reminder text messages on your own. And whether you have an iPhone or Android, you can also schedule those messages as well. So if you're, that's $10 a month, you can totally spend $10 a month. Square is free, which would also provide the reminders. It's not gonna automatically put it into your calendar. You have to do the paid version for that. But yeah, you can manually put it in there. Again, a girly doesn't have time for that. I just want it to be on my calendar automatically, which Notary Gadget does. I don't know about Notary Assist. I didn't use it for too long. I just preferred Notary Gadget. But check them out. Most of them have free trials. Test out the free trials. See how you like them. And go for there. But change your mindset that it's not an expense. It's not just an expense. It's an investment into your business and yourself. Like, remember, you're investing in yourself. If you don't believe that you can do this to be able to pay for some of those things, go back to your 9 to 5, call it a day. Like, this is not for you. Pack it up, get out of here. Like, you are trying to scale your business to, yeah, even if it's just additional income, you should still be organized, right? Personally, I don't like to go to all cash businesses. Like, if I like, when I think about going to nail techs, when I was looking up nail techs, things like that, if I know it's all cash, I'm not going to you. Restaurant, whatever the business is, if it's all cash, if you do not take card, I am not walking in there. And now I also don't really walk around my car so much either. So now Apple Pay is a thing. I don't like going into Walmart because it's not my jam. But I also hate going into Walmart because they don't take Apple Pay. So I rather just order the things online and go pick it up. Because Apple Pay and me being able to tap my phone is not an option there. I don't go inside Walmart. Right? Like, I'm a person of convenience, and so I try to run the business in like as a service that I would want to walk into. So I make sure that I can provide the things that I want to receive. Like, as a customer, I make sure that I have those things. Calendar updates. Like, if I can't book online, I might not use your services. I don't want to call anybody and you're writing it. No, I want it to be put into my calendar. I want you to have an automated system to where I book the appointment, I get a reminder that I can add it onto my calendar. If you're not running a business like that, there's a 95% chance I won't be using your services. So, because that's how I am, that's how I run my business. If you're already doing some of these things, I think that's wonderful. You are on your way. Shout out to you for investing in yourself and your business. And so hopefully some of these things, if you're not doing some of these things, it can help you tighten up on your workflow. And again, free up some time for you. Like, sitting there, entering these appointments manually and setting these reminders is taking away from other things that you can be doing for your business, right? Everything doesn't have to be fancy. Like, your intake could just be in your notes, right? Make sure you have a cancellation policy. I am booked up front, so there's about I'm gonna say 98, because I've only had one person cancel, but they canceled the same day that they booked, right? They pay up front, and more than likely I'm not gonna have cancellation issues. So with that, like, he canceled the same day. He realized that at his company he had to use a certain vendor, so we had to cancel that appointment. And that was for fingerprint, because I do offer that service. How do you want to follow up? Think about those things, and how will you invoice? Again, your girl prefers automations. You don't know, like, especially if you're doing this part-time, what if you're at work, you can't pick up the phone to book someone? You can send them a text message, you can send them a link to book you online. If you're still doing this while you have your 9 to 5, automations are going to be important to you because you have something else. If this is going to be your side hustle, automations are definitely going to be something that's useful to you because you're doing something else, right? I'm also a realtor, so I need to be able for a lot of these things to be automated if I'm doing something that's real estate related, right? And then of course, once you grow, you can hire someone to help you part-time, full-time, wherever you end up in your notary business, right? Calendly, I believe that you can use it for free for the most part. I started with that, but again, I just used everything like GoDaddy, because everything's just seamlessly like integrated there, one place, and I like that. Create email templates as confirmation reminders, text templates I have saved in the notes. I think there's also apps that you can save like text templates, but that tends to be something that you can have paid, that you would have to pay for anyway. So again, I still think that using something like Square where it's sending out automatically is best, but I understand like wanting to save on some things. So having when I started out without having those things, I had text templates saved in my notes, confirmation, what time, things like that I had set up, right? Like tech is here to help you, like not work against you. Like learn these things. Don't be afraid of using technology. But to wrap, I know systems isn't like too glamorous and thinking about your notary business, but that's a part of running a business. Any business, not just your notary business, is a part of that. Like in real estate, I have automations too, right? You want to separate yourself from someone that's just winging it. I've met notaries that are just winging it, and let me tell you, it is not great. They just seem more unprofessional when they are just winging it. But you want to establish yourself as someone, like I said, who's professional and has a sustainable business, because when you just checking on when you're running your business like that, like just wing it, it's likely that someone might not want to work with you again, and you don't know the possibilities of what that person or other company can bring to your business, right? So you don't want to like miss appointments, so let's stop doing that. You want to get paid faster, so that's why I like having digital options. And systems are your friend. They make you look more professional and that you know what you're doing. So what systems do you have in your business? Will you be adding any of those things into your business? How can you improve your notary business? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear. Hold yourself accountable. Are there some things that you have recommendations for me? Like, I don't know. Like, what are some things that you guys are using that I didn't mention here? But I think those things are important. They keep me together, and I've been doing this. Yeah, there are notaries that have been doing this for longer than me, but these are things that has helped me grow and just, like I said, automate my business. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope some of this helps you as a newer notary if you're watching out there. And yeah, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, follow your girl, share with another notary friend that you think that this might be useful to. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.